Well, hello there and happy Soulful Sunday. This is our community prayer circle where we gather on Sundays to come together to share about a little bit of the energetics of the week. We share the replay on the portal so anybody can drop in their own divine time. And we just share a little moment of pause together. So, welcome, welcome. As always, we like to begin these sessions with just grounding into the space, making sure you have something to sip on, whether that's some cacao, some tea, some water, some juice, whatever feels good in this moment. Because when we enter a prayer space, it's a really good idea to ingest the prayer because the beverages around us are living consciousness and we are infusing them with the energetics that we place into the space. So, yeah, drink that cacao, feel that love coming on in. If you've got any incense or sage or anything that brings in the spirit of air. We're in Gemini season, so you may be feeling like saging, cleansing, purifying the space. I've got some for us here. I've got some angel abundance incense going on. We've got some myrrh, some jasmine, some sandalwood. So just again, bringing in the spirit of air. Right now we're in Gemini season. We just entered Gemini season a couple days ago. And Gemini season is the magician. It's the mystical one. It's the one that's always communing with the unseen realms. Whenever we think about air signs, this is witty, this is conversational, this is social, this is chatty. These are the ones that love to share, love to talk, love to conversate with others, and they love to learn. This is a sign that's one of the most scholarly of the zodiac, where it just loves learning something new and learning especially magical things and being able to share that magic with others. So we also have the moon in Virgo today. We've been navigating Virgo for the past couple of days. Moon signs will always stay for 2.5 days before they move along. And so we've been navigating the earthly realm with Virgo. Virgo is the one that keeps us on schedule. It's the one that writes down the to-do list, that makes the Excel spreadsheets, the one that's organizing the pantry. It's the most organizing one of the zodiac. So while low road of Gemini can get kind of scattered and flighty and distracted, Virgo reins it back in. It's like, hey, let's make a to-do list. Let's make a checklist, make sure that we've got everything prepared so that we kind of rein things back in, have some structure, have some routine. So as always, we are going to enter our silent portal at 11:11. And in this moment, we will receive from the space, we will generate into the space, we will literally just practice a moment of pause. And in this pause, you can choose to practice in whatever way feels good. Maybe you set an intention for yourself. Maybe you do run through the little to-do list. What is one thing you want to accomplish today? Even if that accomplishment is rest. Productivity is found in rest. We don't always have to be go, 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 going. So I always love to pull a little oracle message, especially in the spirit of air, communing with the unseen realms to see what needs to be shared with the collective today. Speak through me, speak to me, show me how, show me now. Today I am pulling from the Inner Temple Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So let's see what wants to come out. The Burning Rose. This reminds me of one of your paintings there, actually. So let's see what the message is with the Burning Rose. 86. The burning rose is the symbol of sacred rage, of anger alchemized into something creative, into passion, not destruction. We tend to see anger and rage as something we should avoid, as if expressing these emotions is to be avoided or even wrong, as if anger is something that should be controlled and restrained. Boys are taught that their anger is dangerous, and women that their rage isn't feminine. Women who have the courage to harness their anger are often accused of being crazy or unstable. But this stops the flow of passion and the ferocious urge of the feminine to protect what's sacred. Anger or rage is often a reflection of what's important to us. It can be a signpost to our boundaries or lack thereof. It can be a guiding light revealing what we truly most care for, long for, or wish to protect. It can also hold within it the codes of our true passion and purpose. But we must do the job of listening to our anger and offering it a safe place to be released and expressed. When we repress something, there's always a consequence. It might fester in the body and make us sick. It might paralyze us and prevent us from living passionately, or it might be expressed in ways that are physically, mentally, and emotionally harmful to others. Alchemizing anger in positive ways and using it to create rather than repress or negatively destroy is some of the holiest work there is. Soul inquiry, just something to think about. What do you feel angry or frustrated about? Can you transform that anger into passion by changing your focus from what you're against to what you're for? Well, I don't know about y'all, but I am seeing a lot of sacred rage and maybe not so sacred rage on the internet right now. A lot of things that people are very angry about. And, a lot of it is, I can see the passion behind it because people are fighting for humanity and what they think is right. And I know that right now there's been so many conversations around AI. And what is AI costing us? Is AI costing us our autonomy, our creative artistic expression, our clean water? And I know that for myself, I find myself getting influenced by some of these things and having to come back to a neutral place so that I'm not getting so riled up by these algorithms that are feeding us oftentimes distortion and really strong emphasis on polarity and division. And so a lot of the invitation, especially during Gemini season, age of Aquarius, time that we are coming into right relationship with one another, with technology, with our environment, is seeing how can we hold the both and how can we hold things lightly instead of getting so supercharged that we're divisive or we're separated against our friends, our neighbors, our communities. And where can we find the balance? I think that AI has a lot of value in it and things that it can share with us. And hopefully we can use AI to advance our civilization so that we are creating more clean water, so that we are ending poverty, so that we are making sure that everybody has a livelihood in a way that they can exist. And hopefully we're not outsourcing all of our authority into something that's outside of us and losing our autonomy, losing our creativity, losing the artistic expression of what it is to be human. So this is also very in relevance and resonance with the gene key that we're navigating this week, which is gene key 20. It's the shadow of superficiality. It's the gift of self-assurance, and it's the divine expression of presence. So that superficiality can be chasing the algorithm, can be, I'm going to generate this prompt onto AI and I'm going to make all of my content through it because I think it sounds better, because it seems more performative, because it's more mechanical in some kind of way. And that self-assurance is when we actually have the confidence in writing what's coming through us and trusting that it's human, it's imperfectly perfect. It might have a spelling error or two, and that's okay because it's human. Humans are allowed to be imperfectly perfect. This divine expression of presence is just honoring the sacred in what is, that we are navigating both right now. So as we come into our moment of portal, maybe today you honor the presence by noticing what you notice. What's 5 things you see? What's 4 things you feel? What's 3 things you hear? What's 2 things you taste? What's 1 thing that you notice when you are fully here now? So let's go ahead and just take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Just beginning to land into that eternal now. As we come into this 11:11 portal, we'll appreciate this moment of silence in whatever way feels good. Taking another deep breath in and out. And just noticing, what is it like to pause all the distractions? What is it like to put the phone down? What is it like to be so fully present? And how often throughout the course of the day are you so fully present? One of the shifts in our epoch right now is this invitation to weave the sacred all the way back in, especially into the mundane moments. The invitation is to do the dishes, weaving the sacred back in, is to fold the laundry, weaving the sacred back in, is to notice the surroundings around you. How sacred is it? How untouched, how beautiful, how bountiful is nature? And how often are you noticing the flowers as they're blooming, the new insects that are coming up, the butterflies around? This is the divine expression of presence that we're navigating this week. It's to focus our attention and our intention on what is here around us in this eternal now. This gift of self-assurance is when we allow ourselves to be so radically us, so authentic in our expression, that when we share something, we share it because it's coming from the overflow in our heart, that we are creative beings and we're interconnected, and that sharing feels good for us. Not that we need the gold star, that we need the validation, that we need the check mark on our social media and all the likes and followers. That can feel good, but it's not the reason that we do it. And so that's what this gene key is that we're navigating this week, is how often are we fully engaging with our environment, and how often are we numbing, distracting, checking out, disassociating? Have you ever driven in your car and you get home and you're like, I don't even know how I got here. I wasn't paying attention at all. Or you finish a meal and you're like, I don't even know what that tasted like because I wasn't paying attention at all. Or you're scrolling on your phone or not watching the movie that's in front of you because your mind is elsewhere. These are all the shadow energetics that we are navigating right now. And there's so many things that are vying for our attention. There's so many things that are causing us to feel distracted. There are so many things that are creating division around us. And it might be just worthwhile to notice this week, what do these sensations bring up in the body when we have conversations about technology, or we have conversations about climate crisis, or there are conversations about what's happening in different parts of the world. How do we regulate our system so that we're not just empathically carrying the burdens of all of these things that are bigger than what we can fix? So if we're looking at the divine expression of presence, this means that superficiality is really also the experience of absence. And so where do we feel absent, absent-minded, or where do we feel like there's a hole, an insatiability? You know, these terms that we have in social media, they're not for nothing. Everything has a meaning behind it. We call our algorithm our feed, you know, and when you look at that feed, that's that hungry ghost that we keep feeding into over and over and over again. All of a sudden, half the day's gone by because we've been scrolling, or we've been outsourcing our attention to feed some kind of algorithm. So this week, especially in this season of Gemini, is just to notice that. Notice if we're feeding ourselves, if we're nourishing ourselves, if we're spending time in our own creative endeavors, or if we're simply outsourcing our creativity to a bot, to an algorithm, to a piece of technology that's going to make something different than what we would have done on our own. You know, part of being an artist, which I believe that all of us are, is being a creative, is being someone that alchemizes pain into beauty. And that transmutation process comes through that creative endeavor. And if we're just feeding a prompt into an AI program and it's generating output, we've lost the alchemy of the process of creativity, and we've outsourced something for just simply output. And it doesn't mean that AI can't be a great resource for us. It doesn't mean that it can help us if our thoughts are scattered. A lot of times it can help us organize our thoughts. But for anything, if we use it in right relationship, it means that we're not just outsourcing everything into an authority outside of us. A lot of the way that this was programmed into us through dogma, through religion, was place your authority in something outside of you and be led to believe that this creates an illusion of safety, or that this is a higher intelligence. These AIs, they are non-sentient beings. So instead of confiding in our friends, many of us are confiding in these bots, and we're looking for sentience from them. But AI can never provide what a human can provide. And so this Gemini season, we're just invited just to come into right relationship with one another. And if we feel that division, that separation, that me against them, me versus them, is just seeing how we can come back to a place of neutrality where we can hold this, that, and the other without having to fight against one another. So let's go ahead and just create that moment of pause again. And this is going to be just another moment of acknowledging the presence. And I like to call spirit the presence, because when we make space for the sacred and we weave it back in, it can show itself, it can reveal itself in so many different ways. So if it feels in alignment, I invite you to soften your gaze or close down your eyes for just a moment. And bring in perhaps the deepest breath that you've taken all day long, breathing in through the nose. And breathing out through the mouth. And let's just do a body scan. Noticing if there's any furling in the brows and if we can relax them. Noticing if there's any tension in the jaw, and if so, relaxing. Noticing if the shoulders are coming up around the ears and allowing them to roll back and down. Noticing if we're contouring over, seeing if we can allow the heart to come out and expand. Notice if I'm holding anything in the belly and letting out that soft puppy belly. Noticing if we're gripping in the fingers and just unclenching our fists. Noticing if there's any strain in the legs and just letting them be soft. Noticing if there's any clenching of the toes, and just kind of letting them be soft and relaxed. And just allowing yourself to feel really relaxed in this moment. And from this place of relaxation, let's do that experience again of just noticing. What are some things that are around us that we can see? If we want to open our eyes for this, we can do that, or we can see through the ajna. What are some things that we can smell in the air? What are some things that we can taste? What are some things that we can touch? What are some things that we notice when we take the time to notice? This is a great tool anytime that we feel ourselves getting really distracted or overstimulated or anxious, is just allowing yourself to come back to the present moment by engaging all of your senses. This is what makes you a sentient being, is allowing all of your senses to guide the way for you. And that's going to be our invitation this week. Anytime we get riled up, anytime we feel ourselves being really scattered, any absent-minded thoughts, is just bring them back to the present moment. Engage the senses and come back to the eternal now. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in and out. This week, I pray that we can all feel the gift of our humanity, feel the gift in being creatives, feel the gift in being authentic, feel the gift in finding our tribe, people that honor us for being unique, that relish in the way that we speak, the cadence of our voice, the words that we use. Even if we fluff up, that honor the imperfection of our being. May we give ourselves grace that it doesn't have to be perfect. To be human is the gift. And may we honor that for one another so that we can feel confident sharing our stories, sharing our content, creating our own content, and just allowing ourselves to be creative, to be authentic, to be self-assured by being confident. And just giving ourselves little pauses throughout the day to come back to the present moment. Anytime we feel distracted, just coming back to the here and now and honoring the sacred in what is here, in what is unfolding now. So I like to end these calls by sharing our energy into the space. So if it feels in alignment, just begin to bring your palms together, rubbing them together. Just infusing yourself with this energy, this sacred that weaves within you and around you. And then on the count of 3, we're going to blast it out into the space, and we're going to receive this energy from one another. As we give, we so generously receive. 1, 2, 3. Whoosh. And just feeling the magic of these wands, these 10 little wands in our hand, these ways that we manipulate energy, that we make matter. Humans make things matter. We do it through the way that we express, through the way that we story tell, the way that we mold things, create things. Let's go ahead and receive that energy back into us. Feeling the love that you are. Thank you for sharing this sacred space. Thank you for the weaving of the sacred back into the mundane by just creating a little pause, a little moment of beingness, just noticing what we notice when we take the time to be present. Sending you so much love. Enjoy the rest of your soulful Sunday. Namaste.